Hey everyone, I hope we're well. I think it's overdue to do a sit down video. I need to make use of this top and I've got my nails to match it. No, I'm joking, it's an absolute coincidence. But yeah, I've really wanted to do a video about this for a while. I started to do like an Instagram story on it and I realised this is like such a big topic that it's not going to be covered in like an Instagram highlight. So my topic of conversation is weight anxiety. If this is something which maybe uncomfortable for some people to talk about, please don't feel like you have to watch it. I do not want to make anyone feel anxious or upset. So yeah, weight anxiety is something which I definitely suffered with when I was younger, and it is something which I've got so much better at. Yes, there are still flashpoints, but I now have coping mechanisms and tips which have really helped me. So I just wanted to sit down and share them with you guys. So the first thing I would say for anyone who is struggling with weight anxiety is to know that your weight is the least important thing about you. Like, I cannot put that into perspective enough. When you die, people aren't going to be sort of standing around your grave lowering you saying this person weighed 8 stone 12 pounds. Like, they're absolutely not going to do that. They're going to be there like, this person was friends with this person, they had these relations, they helped those people, they did this job, like they were successful in these amount of ways. Like, the last thing they're going to be talking about is weight. You are your own biggest critique about weight, and it just takes you away from everything else which you would do in your life if it is something which you're like coming back to a lot. So the first thing, know that your weight is really the least important thing about you. The second thing is to know that you are your own biggest critique. So if you think something, you are the person who's going to think that 10 times, 15 times, 30 times more. And yeah, there's kind of this rule, it's called the 18-40-60 rule. I'm pretty sure that's the numbers. It basically says that when you're 18, you think everybody's thinking about you. You become very sort of like, not intentional, everybody does this, self-centered. You think a lot of people are thinking about you all the time. When you get to 40, you don't care what people think about you. You're just living your own life, living your best life. Like, you don't care what people are thinking. When you're 60, you realise that nobody's been thinking about you. Like, this whole time, even if you thought subconsciously when you're 40, maybe they're still thinking about me, they're not. And you realise that when you're 60. And I've kind of like taken that rule, taken that mentality, and I'm like, if, you know, I figured that out when I was 60, I mean, why can't I figure that out now at 20? I just do not want to be thinking that other people are thinking about me and thinking about my weight. So if other people aren't thinking about my weight, why should I think about my weight? There are so many more other things which I can invest my time into aside from weight. The third thing I would recommend if you are struggling with weight anxiety is to know that your body is changing literally all of the time. Like, when you're older, for example, your body's going to change, especially for women. Like, your body, as you get older, wants to maybe store a bit more fat. If I have a body which I had when I was 18, I would be severely underweight and I would be unhealthy because my body needs to change in order to fit like the character I am now at 20. As well, for women, as I said, their body is always changing. Like, if you wanted to get like an exact point to see if you had lost weight or whatever, you would have to take it from one point in the month and then measure it at the exact same point for the other month, because your body is always changing, like because of your period cycle. So say, for example, if you feel like you've put on 2 to 3 pounds, that's probably because of your period and you're just about to go into it, or you're bloating because of like water retention. So women's bodies are literally fluctuating all of the time. So just putting on a little bit of weight, that's probably to do with some circumstances outside of your control. What point have I got up to? This is like the third or fourth point. I think it's a fourth, I don't really know. And it's to enjoy the change. Like, if your body has changed slightly and maybe it has gained a bit more weight, like, enjoy that. You are changing. Like, buy clothes which complement this body type, like really kind of like show off a bit, enjoy the process. Me, for example, so say before, if I was a bit skinnier, I'd want to wear like really short skirts, really short crop tops or whatever. Now I've got a bit curvy, I'm like, okay, let's get out of a maxi skirts and maxi dresses, like let's dress more like a woman, like let's enjoy the process instead of kind of like hating it and resenting it. The last thing, so point 5, I cannot talk and count at the same time. The last thing is to know that if weight is something which you struggle with, like when you are thinking negatively, know that your mind will try to go there. This is something which I've kind of like picked up whilst I've been meditating and like monitoring my mind. So say, for example, if I feel down about something, I will feel down about something really, really small, and I look in the mirror, and because my mind has been to a place where it's been bad with weight, it might say, oh, you look fat today. When in reality, I don't. My mind just wants to get down about something. It wants to like go down that spiral. And if you catch that thought before you start slipping, I promise you, it will make things so much easier. Kind of like have something to come back to, like, I am not going to let myself do this today. It's not worth it. I'm just going to stay clear of mirrors if you are having a bad day. So yeah, I hope this has helped. I cannot stress enough how minuscule weight is compared to everything else in the world. I know at points it can feel like the most important thing. I think if you are struggling with weight anxiety, have a little look at who you're following. If it is lots of people in like bikinis and models or whatever, really kind of think if that's healthy for you. I would really recommend following this account called I Weigh. It basically talks about everything which a person weighs outside of their weight. So yeah, I hope this has helped, and please do not stress about weight. It's just so unimportant. I think that's the right word.